at an end nearly 3 years after Tokyo. Paris beckons, but before the world's best track cyclists take their Olympic bow, one final chance to make a statement to the rest of the world, or perhaps get some much-needed qualification points just to get to Paris. This weekend, we're in Milton, Ontario, Canada, the third and final stop of the UCI Track Cycling Nations Cup season. Night one about to get underway here at the Podium National Cycling Centre just outside of Toronto, the host venue for track cycling from the 2015 Pan American Games, now welcoming some of the best in the world. A few hundred athletes, over 40 countries represented here in Milton, and we are just moments away from getting competition underway with the evening session. A look inside the beautiful Podium National Cycling Centre. If you've watched the previous Nations Cup events from Hong Kong and Adelaide, Australia before that, you'll be pretty familiar with the program that we have on offer. We start this evening with round one of the team sprints. We also have some elimination races and some team pursuits. My name is Gavin Day, always happy to be on the call for this one. You see the start list for the women's team sprint. Heat number one, Poland and Germany, Mexico and France, Canada and Colombia, and then Netherlands and Hong Kong, China. These teams qualified earlier this morning in the morning session that featured about 1,200 screaming students who were enjoying a day of track cycling, perhaps experiencing for the first time. There, look at the specs of the track, 250 meters of course. This is really Canada's track cycling hub, but the country is building some new velodromes coming soon to Edmonton, Alberta, further west in Canada, and there is one indoor one now in Bromont, Quebec as well. And you see our riders on the track from the first heat. It features the European champions from Germany, and there's a look at Poland right there. Poland, Marlena Karwaka, Ursula Wash, Nikola Sibiak. There's a look at the German side. You saw the start list. Lara Sophie Jager, Clara Schneider, and Alessa Katrina Propster. Not perhaps Germany's top lineup. Emma Hinze not here. Leah Friedrich not here. Neither is Paulina Grabosch. But they are still angling for positions perhaps on an Olympic side. And you know the team sprint. If you don't, it's 3 laps, 3 riders. After each lap, a rider peels off until the one rider finishes. And at the moment, it is Poland just about 0.6 of a second up. There is the bell. It is time for the final riders to go, and it's Sibiak and Propster. And this is our final time check here, and Germany closing it up. Alessa Katrina Propster of Germany going to make this one close to the line, and it is still going to be Poland, but by just about 0.06 of a second. And so Germany made it close. But it looks like Poland setting the time to beat for heat winners. They'll race for medals later on this evening. Should point out in qualifying this morning, Germany was 5th and Poland was 4th. So 2 very evenly matched teams, as evidenced by that race. There you see the green Q next to Poland's name. They just want to know what color of a medal they will be racing for. So their bronze medal race, gold medal race. And we are coming up to the next heat. Last year's winners from here in Milton, Mexico. They beat the Canadians for gold a year ago. They are up against a pretty talented team from France. And there we have it. Earlier this morning, Mexico qualified with the 3rd fastest time, behind Canada in 2nd and the Netherlands in 1st. France put up the 6th fastest time, and it is a pretty regular lineup for Mexico. We've got a flag up on this side. Mexico's ready to go. The French team is still filing, and there is a look at the Mexican trio. Jessica Salazar, Yuli Verdugo, and Luz Daniela Gathiola. And the French side are all on their bikes now. So the clock is running inside 30 seconds to start. The French side, Julie Michaud, Taki Marie-Divine Kouame, and a woman we might be seeing quite a bit of over the next little bit, Mathilde Gros. See such a huge exertion coming out of the gate. The riders in that timing gate, they have to come out dead straight. And when they're in such a big gear, of course, in a sprint, it's just such a huge exertion to get going. And both of these teams up to speed here, very close through the first 125 meters as they lose a rider, and it's Mexico in front as Verdugo takes the pull and Kouame for France, and now it's about 0.3 of a second advantage for Mexico at the bell. Clos takes over for France and Gathiola for Mexico. A lot of work to do. Let's see who's in front right now. It is still Mexico by a healthy advantage, nearly 0.7 of a second. Luz Daniela Gathiola gonna take this one from Mexico, and Clos did close it up a little bit. Not enough, and so if we take a look at the times right now, Mexico's 47.126. That is the faster of the winning times. Poland sitting at 47.432. Some pretty strong teams still to come, including a team will have a little bit of wind beneath their wings. It's the home side. Out of the gate, they're in such a big gear, it's such a huge exertion, and you can't, it's not like when you're normally on a bike going side to side to get up to speed. You have to be straight to get the purest push out of that start gate. And a solid finish from Mexico, the winners last year. Canada winning silver, and it was Poland in bronze with an identical team to last year. And here we are, home side, another team, the Canadian side, has a lot of experience racing together internationally. Sarah Orban leading it off, the defending Olympic sprint champion, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lauriane Genet. And there is a look at Colombia. Martha Bayona is actually going to lead things off. Yarli Mosquera and Stephanie Lorena Cuadrado. Bayona losing to Kelsey Mitchell here in the sprint in the gold medal race. That has so much energy, and there is a restart. It is Colombia with an issue out of the block, and I thought I heard the double gun. There it is again. They're telling the Canadians to stop, and it looks like a muscle injury, but I don't want to say anything too soon.
Really slow with that gun.
So it's not often these days that we do see a race brought back. Often when there's a slip chain or something, if it's within the rider's control, they're a little bit more ruthless when it comes to calling those back. Here's a look, and just, oh no, you just see it. She felt it as soon as she pushed out. You feel for Martha Bayona there. So the big question now, can she make a restart? In the meantime, the Canadians will have to refocus. So much emotion, having it just that adrenaline right at the surface so you can push off and get power into those legs. But we shall see. The Canadian side didn't compete last month on Nations Cup in Hong Kong. Maggie Coles-Lister, who you will see later on in the team pursuit, she did compete in the Omnium, but racing for a trade team. Now the big question is, how long until we restart? Might spell the end of their day. Not a lot you can do when in a three-rider race, or three-rider per team race. And one of them just can't continue. And she just knew it right away. Whenever it's an injury, you of course want to win, but you look at what's coming up at the end of July and into August. There's Sarah Orban off her bike. Hope for a quick recovery for the injured rider. But it looks very much like Canada will be going this alone. So look at the great Katie Archibald getting loose. We'll see her in the team pursuit coming up, leading that British side, that all-powerful British side in the rainbow bands. It's a very interesting event. If you're a spectator here, you get to see the riders warming up. You get to watch sort of every move they make. It's very much a fishbowl here. Marianne Genet, medalist in the Keirin from Tokyo. Kelsey Mitchell keeping the legs ready to go for however long this takes.
We'll try to sort out racing and bring you along for the ride and keep you up to speed, unintended, on exactly how things are going to transpire here. But yes, the team sprint is just that. It's a team effort. There's 3 riders per team. Each one takes a lap, and then the fastest team across the line is the winner of that heat. So we're just waiting.
So we remain in a holding pattern. A little delay to the program. Of course, this will affect races later on. Running through the order after this, we have the men's elimination coming up. And then the men's team sprint.
Everybody on the backstretch. The backstretch is like waving. We're up here in the penthouse suite in the hermetically sealed, hermetically sealed glass box, basically. So hello, baby, to all our friends on the backstretch on the far side. That's the community entrance. And everybody here on the home stretch. On the home stretch. You guys with us tonight? Make some noise. Hey!
Does not appear as though Columbia is coming back up. Just going back through Hong Kong, there was results. The podium in Hong Kong, Great Britain, Germany, and China. Great Britain opting not to enter a side. No Sophie Capewell, no Emma Finucane, world sprint champion, and no Katie Marchant. As I mentioned, it's a different German side, and China is not here. So a very different podium from a month ago in Hong Kong. And the season starter in Adelaide was Great Britain, China, and New Zealand. And New Zealand is not here. So chance for some teams to pick up some much needed Olympic qualification points. It is a very complicated process to explain. There's a look at the running order. Of course, it's going to change a little bit, push times back a little bit, but you can have a look at what we have on offing, in the offing today. This evening, today, wherever you may be in the world. And so just to boil it down, you want to come in your country wants to come in the top 10 in the qualification standings, because if you get teams qualified, then you can kind of filter down and have more selection when it comes to the individual sprint and endurance races. It looks like the starting gate is coming back up. Discussion amid the commissaires. An international panel. We may be ready to resume with just one team, that being the Canadians.
So we just got word that Canada is going to have a solo ride here.
We are ready to go. It's a cross-country Canadian side. Well, sort of. The front two are from Alberta, and if you don't really know your Canadian geography that well, the furthest west province is British Columbia. Just east of that is the province of Alberta. That is the home of Sarah Orban and Kelsey Mitchell. Orban is from Calgary, Kelsey Mitchell from a small town, city, whatever you may, called Sherwood Park. And then Lauriane Genet, you might tell, she has a French-Canadian name. She is from the province of Quebec. Good ovation as the Canadians resume their places, getting into their spots, and we are now just about ready to go, counting down about 30 seconds to go. As I mentioned, no Colombia, so just Canada racing for a spot in the medal races. Everybody away cleanly. It's up to Orban to get up to speed. Leave enough room for Mitchell to ride into, get right into that slipstream so that when Orban pulls off, Kelsey Mitchell is at top speed and able to pull. And so with the Kieran specialist, Lauriane Genet, sitting in behind, she has that sprint endurance to try to finish things off. She tucks right in on that wheel. Maximum draft. The Canadians with the fastest 250, and they are the fastest side through 500 meters. At least in this heat, it's all very close. They're about 1,000th of a second slower than Poland's time. Anyway, Genet bringing it to the finish. Canada will go 47.530. That is good enough for second right now, if I'm not mistaken. I'll let just see how the cards fall where they may. If I read it correctly, it is still Poland in front. And all eyes really in this next heat will be on the team in orange. They set the fastest time this morning in qualifying. That, of course, is the team from the Netherlands. There we go. Netherlands and Hong Kong, China. Teams that went 1st and 8th in qualifying. Very powerful Dutch side. It's Kyra Lemmerink, Hedy van der Waal. Steffi van der Peet is the 3rd rider. Hong Kong, China has Ing Che Wing, Ching Yin Shan, and Young Cho Yu. And got the note that Colombia was relegated as they could not field the full side there. And the Dutch with this exact same team, 3rd place at the European Championships. That was held at home at the Velodrome in Apeldoorn in the Netherlands. And teams getting set up, and we are down to 15 seconds to go. Away cleanly this time. Quickly into formation. The Dutch very smooth through the opening. A little bit ragged to get in their line is Hong Kong, China, but they are now where they want to be. And just leading it through the first little bit, already over a second. This Dutch team is throwing down, aiming for a spot in the gold medal final. They've added to it 1.6 seconds. Steffi van der Peet now taking the torch, finishing things off with the anchor leg. They have almost got Hong Kong, China in sight. 2.3 seconds to the good. Smoothly to the finish. We will check their time. And the Dutch go 46.459. Almost 4 seconds ahead of Hong Kong, China. And I think we can safely say the Netherlands will race for gold. There is the all-important green Q, or white Q on a green backdrop. And it will be Mexico trying to defend its gold medal against the Netherlands, as you can just see, in supreme form. And then for bronze, it will be Poland against Canada. So Mexico 47.126, Poland 47.432, and Canada 47.53. But look at that time from the Netherlands, at least at that stage, at this point in time, almost a second faster than their opponents, who will also be in the medal race. There you have it, Mexico and the Netherlands, Poland taking on Canada. And we're already getting set up. Are you ready for something completely different now? It is the men's elimination race coming up shortly. The riders are just waiting for the sprinters to get off the track. And in this elimination race,
Just joining us here this evening for day 1 of the Tissot UCI track.
we have the Canadian who won the first race of the season in Adelaide. That's Dylan Bibick.
Great to have you guys in the house. Don't be shy. You know, you're here having a good time. There's a Steam Whistle Brewery over on the back street.
For those of you who may be new, the elimination is not the race you want to look at what's going on at the front. You want to watch what's going on at the back. As of course every 2 laps, as the name implies, the last place rider over the line is eliminated.
And also, I think they're selling some great merch over there for the event and for Cycling Canada. Of course, all proceeds go to our program to develop cycling in the
start list. I see Chalel from Algeria, Tim Waffler of Austria. There's a Bridgestone. That's one of the trade teams next to the Japanese flag. You see the BGT. Dylan Bibic, Elia Viviani, the Italian great Yanne Dodenbos. Also one to watch. Keel Campbell of Trinidad and Tobago. Nice to see the international representation in this race. Riders from multiple continents. There is Elia Viviani. Bronze medalist from the World Championships last year in Glasgow. Ineos Grenadiers rider on the road. Stage winner of the Giro d'Italia, 5 individual stage wins. Won a stage of the 2019 Tour de France, but of course we are here for the track. And Viviani, 2016 Omnium Olympic champion from Rio. Tim Thorn-Teutenberg, the youngster from Germany, certainly one to watch. Mark Stewart, silver medalist in the Madison from the World Championships a year ago. Points race, Commonwealth Games champion. Now, the elimination race is an individual event here on Nations Cup, but it is not an individual Olympic event. It will be part of the 4-event Omnium. Men's and women's Omniums will be held over the next 2 days. There's Dodenbos. It's nice to see the Netherlands back in the bright orange kit. They flirted briefly with that kind of off-white, slight orange motif the last, I think it was at least a year anyway. But now they're easily recognizable with that bright orange. Campbell of Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, his teammate Nicholas Paul, one of the fastest sprinters on the planet, who won the sprint here last year. Keel Campbell, time trial world champion, or pardon me, Trinidad and Tobago national champion. There is a look at Dylan Bibic. Now the Canadian Dylan Bibic, you may have heard his name pronounced as Bibic as well. And if you ask his father, both are correct. And so his father is also a track cyclist. At the National Championships in Canada earlier this year, his father said, you can call Dylan Bibic. I mean, I've heard an interview where he says it himself, but you can call the father Bibic. So it's enough to make you cross-eyed, but for this case, we'll just go with Dylan Bibic. Look at Mark Stewart. There's also the Asian champion, Aya Hashimoto of Japan. This will not be an elimination lap just yet. They will form up, and then you will hear the gun, and that will mean the race is underway. So, commissaires have to be happy that everyone is in the right place. There's the gun, and we are go here in the men's elimination race in Milton, and so they will get around. This time, you will hear the bell, and then the elimination will well and truly be underway. There is the bell. At the moment, the rider from India is fighting to stay in the race. And it looks like he may be the first to go.
Rider number 28 from India, Ashwin
There is confirmation. And another elimination before you have a chance to draw breath. It's Tim Waffler of Austria at the front right now, but we are watching what is going on at the back. Is there enough to get around the outside for Campbell? And he does do enough to get around. The rider from Indonesia. And another elimination race right now. It looks like it is the rider from Hong Kong, China, sitting on the back right now, and that is the case. Chu Tsun Wai.
You are eliminated.
There's another down at the moment. It is the rider from Slovakia, Pavel Rovder, in danger. See if he can find an opening up the outside. There is always that danger where athletes see an opening in the middle, and for so long it might look tempting. It is Campbell down there right now, and the problem with going down the middle, as you'll see,
Right number 46 from Trinidad and Tobago.
and there you have it. There's just nowhere to go. The door closed, the riders move around, and for a moment you might feel like you're safe, but then you have nowhere to go, and Akil Campbell is the next to go. And once again, it is Pavel Rovder living life dangerously at the back there. Although he does look like he has an opening around the outside, he might just be getting himself to safety. And it is Viviani at the front right now, very comfortably in position. We'll see, that one's close.
Rider number 44, you are eliminated. Rider number 44, Pavel Rovder.
That is Rovder of Slovakia. Look at how close that is. They have to make a split-second decision. Because, of course, the riders will be halfway around another lap before they know what's going on. And right now, it looks like it is Edibaldo Maldonado of Mexico at the back, although he might just sneak in to save himself, and I think he did.
Rider number 15 from Egypt,
It's Yusuf Abul Hassan, who will finish in 17th place. So if you're one of those riders whose name I'm not calling in the race, it's to your benefit. The less we say your name often, the better you're doing. As we just keep watching the back, and right now, looks like it is Yassine Chalel of Algeria. I think he might have saved himself. Or did he?
Rider number 35 from
It is Janne Doornbos of the Netherlands, who we bid adieu to. We're down to our final 15 riders. And it is Jordan Para. Looks like he does have a way around the outside, though.
Rider number 47.
And it is Ahmed Al Mansouri of UAE, United Arab Emirates, who is the next to go. Very compact group. It's the Canadian Bibic keeping an eye on things. He has Stewart coming up over his right shoulder. There's Eric Martorell of Spain also there. We're coming up to another elimination lap. Looks like it's the rider from Czechia just hanging on.
Rider number 1 from Algeria, Yassine Chalel. You are
That is Yassine Chalel of Algeria, who will finish in 14th place. And it is Viviani on the back right now. And he has some work to do, trying to chase down a few riders. He has to do it the long way around. If he wants to stay in, I think he might be okay, but it will be close.
Rider number 57 from
It
Mexico.
is Edibaldo Maldonado.
Maldonado, you are eliminated.
He is the next to go, but still, Viviani dangling off the back there a little bit. It is an elimination lap once again. And so, Elia Viviani once again, is he playing possum or is he in real danger here going up around the outside? And it will be very close.
Rider number 54 from Czechia.
And very, very close there. It's Jan Voneš of Czechia. And there's a close look at that right now, just beating out the rider from Colombia. And it's now Mark Stewart moving up around the outside, and Viviani, at what point is he just playing possum? What's in those legs? We know usually there's a lot of power. Keeps going around the outside, and I think he's survived another one.
Rider number 38.
No, yes he has, pardon me. It was 38. I thought I heard 30 at first, but it is Adam Wozniak of Poland. So just keeping an eye on the man in the Azzurri kit there, it is Elia Viviani. He dangles off the back and then he goes around and he does enough just to survive. At what point does his luck run out? And this may be it.
Rider number 30 from Italy, Elia Viviani.
And it is Viviani in 10th place. And we are down to our final 9. And it is Eya Hashimoto, the Asian champion, on the front right now. And living dangerously at the back, Jordan Para. He's got some work to do to get around the outside. Several riders trying to move up for positions. A lot of jostling. This one could be close, but it is, oh my.
Rider number 4.
It is Tim Waffler of Austria. Just pipped at the line there. And now Para seems to be playing that living dangerously role. As we are down to 8 riders. And it's Eya Hashimoto from Bridgestone Cycling. Very close, but he's going to survive again.
Rider number 53 from Cheney, Windows and Doors.
The trade team riders, Claudio Imhoff of Cheney Windows and Doors, who is now out. And pardon me, it's Shunsuke Imamura who is the Asian champion, but it's Mark Stewart at the front, being followed closely by Imamura, the 26-year-old. He is from Kyushu, which is the island at the very southern end of Japan. But it is going to be close. The last second sprint, I don't think it was enough.
Rider number 6 from
And it is Hashimoto. And Eya Hashimoto is out, and we are down to 6. And it's Mark Stewart at the front, being followed by Shunsuke Imamura, that Japanese team, all over the podium a month ago in Hong Kong. And that is going to be it for Para from Colombia. And he will finish in 6th. And we are down to 5, and it's Mark Stewart on the front. Now the looks start to go. What's left in the legs? And it's deceiving just how much energy is spent in these races. It is the Canadian Bibic at the back right now. And he's trying to come around the outside. A little wobble there. He is going to leave it very late. It's Bibic trying to push late, and Bibic, does he do enough to hang on? No, he does not. And so the Canadian comes in 5th place. No, he doesn't. He survives. Let's take a look at that, and oh my, it's Teutenberg who gets picked. We'll have to settle for 5th place, but Bibic, that was a big exertion. He has to pick himself right back up again and do it all over again. This time he has to get around Eric Martorell of Spain, and he does it again. And it's Martorell, the Spaniard, who is eliminated, now down to 3. It's the Asian champion, Shunsuke Imamura, Mark Stewart of Great Britain, and Dylan Bibic of Canada. And what is left in the tank? Who is gonna ratchet it up? Stewart sitting in that elimination spot right now. You'd have to think Imamura has the best position. He has a bit of a gap. Stewart trying to come around. He's trying to beat Bibic, and I don't think he'll do it. And it is now the Asian champion, Shunsuke Imamura, against the defending Champions League endurance champion, Dylan Bibic. Bibic, he picked up the win 2 months ago in Adelaide, and now it's a match sprint. But it's a match sprint involving two very tired cyclists. It is Bibic in front. Imamura, he is not letting this be a procession, but I think Imamura has given up, and Dylan Bibic takes one for the home side. The 20-year-old who calls this velodrome home has 2 races in Nations Cup and 2 wins this season. And he just had too much horsepower, keeping Imamura at bay, and Imamura tried. This was not a victory lap by any stretch. But it is Dylan Bibic. One might think he could be one of Canada's best shots for a medal this summer. And he takes to the Omnium. And it is 1 medal race, 1 gold medal for the home side. Look back at the race. Viviani, just a shake of the head there. Look at the victorious lap. Cyclist inspired by watching races at this velodrome takes the victory. Here's a look at the results. Bibic, Imamura, and Mark Stewart of Great Britain will be your podium, but the Japanese and British procession to the podium continues. If you combine the trade teams along with that Japanese national side, Japanese riders picked up 10 medals in Hong Kong, China, a month ago. Undoubtedly, some loved ones in the audience for Bibic. And with Coach Laura Brown, former multiple-time Olympic team pursuit medalist, now in a coaching role with the Canadian program. All right, now we go right back to the team sprint. And this time it is the men. And heat number 1. You see there, France and France and Canada rather. All the way to the Dutch side, and a month ago in Hong Kong, China, in the team sprint, it was the Dutch, perhaps somewhat shockingly, finishing 9th and not qualifying, but all of the top names are here this month, and they will be out for revenge. Ryan Elal, Melvin Landerneau, and Sébastien Vigier for France. Vigier and Elal, part of the silver medal winning French side from the European Championships. James Hedgecock, Ryan Dodick, and Tyler Rourke, the Canadian side. James Hedgecock, who will finish things off, a former BMX rider. Look at the equipment there. A whole lot of money on the track and off the track. These are very expensive pieces. They're expensive pieces of equipment. sides cleanly away, and it will be Tyler Rourke and Vigier, Sébastien Vigier, leading things around. And through the opening, it is a very slight advantage for France, not even a 1/10 of a second. And it's even closer after the first lap. Handing off, it is Landerneau leading things for France. And the Canadian side down a 1/10 of a second. And at the exchange, look at that. 8,000ths of a second with 250 meters to go. It is Ryan Alao for France, the man from Saint-Martin-d'Air. Just up by 1/100th of a second at the line, it's tied. Is that to the 1,000th of a second? And this is going to be a photo. Oh my, what a start. And it's going to the Canadians by 6,000ths of a second. James Hedgecock pulls it back on the final lap, and it gets a little bit closer than that, but not much. If we get a look at that picture, because you wonder what they're aware of. What a start. The Canadians kept it close the entire way. Just to give you an idea, Canada qualified 5th and France in 4th. There was about 4/10 of a second difference between these two sides. Always love to see that. The kudos. French officials congratulating the Canadians, so they know they will be racing for a medal. It's just a matter of which color. Next up there is a look at the Italian side. They're going up against China. China has Guo Shuai, Zhu Yu Li Jiwei, and Italy has Stefano Minuta, Mattia Predomo, and Matteo Bianchi. Everybody is in position. China, runners up here a year ago. This one will be brought back. China 4th in Adelaide, bronze a month ago in Hong Kong, China. Italy down in 10th, did not qualify for the first round. They were in 8th to start the season in Adelaide. Look. May be a false start handed out. Of course, that start gate can detect the early move. Looks like it is potentially a false start to China. There it is. Right away, the double gun fired. When you hear the two guns, that means that we're bringing it back for whatever reason. There's been some change in the Chinese roster through Nations Cup this season. We have had A and B teams as well to test out a number of riders, but in Adelaide, Guo Shuai and Yu Zhu were both in the lineup. Same thing with Hong Kong, China. And we have confirmed it was the middle rider for China, Zhu Yu, with the false start. So this Chinese program fielding a lot of riders. They had just the one team entered in the men's team sprint today, but they have utilized the A and B option as they test which combination might yield the best results. But it does look like Guo Shuai and Zhu Yu are the two mainstays of the roster. And looks like we are just about ready to go. The bikes are coming back in. So final instructions to get it into that start gate. Same sort of situation with Italy. They've swapped in a few different riders. Matteo Bianchi, the latest introduction from a month ago. And he also raced in Adelaide. So at this stage, racking up the points, trying the different combinations to potentially be in top form as the Olympics get underway. Still to come, Great Britain and Czechia in the next heat, the Netherlands and Poland. Counting down, so we are 15 seconds from the go. Cleanly. That is a big gap the Chinese have to chase down. Italy looks a bit more manageable. Looks like they are easily getting into that slipstream. China looks a little more fractured, but it may all be part of their plan as they are a half second up right now. And it is Italy with Podium leading the way and Zhu leading the way for China, but the gap is closing. One lap to go, it's down to just over 1/10 of a second. Here comes the blue bullet from Italy. It is Matteo Bianchi trying to finish things off. He's inside 1/10 of a second. He's got the momentum. He will come to the line and it will be Italy just sneaking away with the victory by just under 1/10 of a second. And so they left it late. But it's Italy picking up the victory here. And it was perhaps a bit of an upset. China qualifying in third, Italy qualifying in sixth this morning. But when it goes head to head, looks like it is Italy taking this one. At the moment, let's check the winning times. Italy's was 43.566. Canada's was 43.170. So at the moment, Canada has the faster of the winning times. Back at the start. In unison, that Italian side. Nicely done by Matteo Bianchi with the bike throw at the line. And next up, Great Britain and Czechia. Great Britain has Ed Lowe, Hamish Turnbull, and Jack Carlin. There you have it there. Czechia has Matt Bohuslavic, Dominik Topinka, and Martin Czechman. Britain fourth, Czechia seventh, the European Championships. And once again, this one is being brought back. bronze medalists from here 1 year ago. Here's a look. And like there's been a false start. Looks like it's not to do with the rider's fault. It's like there's a mechanical, so to speak. So we will try again in short order. Great Britain, silver medal from the last Olympics. Just one man from that side returning, and that is Jack Carlin. He rides third. The man from Paisley in Scotland, very much at home at last year's World Championships. And you'll see in the Kieran coming up in a few days. And we will see a replay, and actually may have been the Czechs, but I'll keep a note on. Here's a look at the replay right there. The third rider, Martin Czechman. In the Kieran a month ago, he jumped the field just as the Derny pulled off, and he'll be one for me to watch coming up in the next few days. That was a look at it was a false start in the end. Double whistle blast, and time to form up once again. So, been a few delays in the program today. An injury to a Colombian rider in the team sprint for women, and a couple of false starts now. Let's get wheeled back up. Clipped and strapped. Looks like we are all on the line. The countdown continues. Not sure how arrow those sideburns are. We are down to 10. The double guns again. I will wait to see the word on this one. British side. Well, the second and third riders, Turnbull and Carlin, certainly got the jump on low, and I'm not sure if that's where there might have been a false start or not. So now the wait continues. After this men's team sprint first round, We jump over to the medal races in the women's team pursuit. They did 2 rounds of that this morning. They did a qualifier and then a first round. And so, bronze medal race, gold medal race. The first women's medals of the weekend will be handed out, or at least contested. And we shall see if the third time is the charm here. Getting back into position, so I think we are all engines go. Head low is in place for Great Britain. He's into the timing gate. Matej Bohuslavic for Czechia. We'll see what's left of the explosiveness. This has been a lot of up and down. It's a wave of emotions here. We're down to 12 seconds to go. And no double guns. We are go this time. And so it seemed everyone has psyched themselves up, not psyched themselves out. And at the first split, it is Team GB in front by 0.2 of a second. Ed Lowe with the big pull. He now hands off to Hamish Turnbull, and it's down to just under 1/10 of a second. Here comes Czechia. Now they've pulled it out a little bit. Great Britain at the bell. It is now adding to that advantage. Jack Carlin pulling away for Great Britain. Czechman trying to close it up, but it's over half a second, and it will be Team GB winning heat number 3. And they are almost 0.9 of a second ahead, 42.827. And that is the first team under 43 seconds in this men's team sprint first round. And so, if I'm reading this correctly, always a big F, Great Britain, first team into the race for gold. But still to come, for the first time this weekend, we get to see some rainbow bands. Netherlands and Poland, and last month Dutch had some different riders. They had some stomach issues, but this month all 3 in rainbows. Roy Vandenberg leading things off. Right behind him will be Harry Lavrijsen, and Jeffrey Hoogland will finish things off. Hoogland, of course, Lavrijsen, just an arm's length of accomplishments. And for Poland, Daniel Rochna, Maciej Bilecki, and Mateusz Rudik. Rudik, runner-up in the individual sprint 1 year ago here. Down to 10. Watch these men absolutely fly. The Netherlands are also European champions. They won that at home earlier this year, but rainbow trumps Europe. And just the opener already, 0.3 of a second. Roy Vandenberg leading things out perfectly. It's almost half a second. Now it's Harry Lavrijsen. It's punch, and then punch, and then punch for the Netherlands. Just so much power at the bell. They are over a second ahead. Poland doing what they can, but it is just so much horsepower. Jeffrey Hoogland bringing the Netherlands around, and they will race for gold. 1.2 seconds ahead. 42.2. They were closing in on the 41s. Was that Dutch side. And I believe, let's just see, it will be the Netherlands and Great Britain racing for gold later on tonight.
Okay, that concludes our women's team sprint qualification rounds. Next up on the CBC program, Opposed in Vietnam, Shinigang Opposite Patrick Femme. Nous avons
Confirmation of the results, Great Britain and the Netherlands to race for gold, Canada and Italy for bronze later on tonight in the men's team sprint. And now, race for the medals in the women's team pursuit. And first up, the race for bronze, Canada A. There was a Canada B trying to qualify this morning. And for gold, European champions against world champions. Look at Maggie Coles-Lister leading things off for Canada. The rider for Roland on the road. Heavily involved in the Flanders big races. And there's the Canadian team, Maggie Coles-Lister, Sarah Van Dam, both of them Champions League experience as well. Erin Atwell and Ariane Bonhomme. Look at Italy, Clara Caponi, Valentine Fortin, Marion Borra, and Marie Linette. This French side, very interesting. They sort of span the main French country. Of course, there are other parts of France that are islands all over around the world. But Linette is from the Brittany region. She's from Pontigny. Marion Borra from the Rhône Alps in the southeast. Valentine Fortin from Toulouse in the southeast, closer to the Pyrenees. And Clara Caponi is from Aix-en-Provence in the south. And in the early going, it's France to the lead. And then in qualifiers today, France put up a very, very close race in round one against Great Britain. They were level or even slightly ahead for a good chunk of the race. Britain just powerful, powerful in the end when you have Katie Archibald pulling away. That's what allowed Great Britain to pull away and claim the race, but France rode them close. The Canadian side, however, they really rode into the race. Not one of the fastest starters, but they certainly finished strong. And at this point of the race, it is just about 0.2 of a second. France in front. All four riders still in. We are a quarter of the way through. Look at that speed they're carrying right now. 62.5 kilometers an hour. Four riders still on both sides. And France pulling it out a little bit. Canadian side, bronze in the team pursuit a year ago. Exactly the same side. It's behind Great Britain and Germany. And the Canadians are inside half a second. And now France adding to that advantage as we are closing in on the halfway mark. 16 laps, 4,000 meters. And the French looking very composed. 0.8 of a second to the good right now. That was Marie Linette leading things away for France. The 24-year-old, she rides for FDJ Suez on the road. And now it's closing in on a second past the halfway mark. Canada down to 3 riders. France just about. It's actually not that huge of an advantage. 1.3 at moments. You look like they almost can have Canada in sight on the straightaway. But now it is the Canadians in front, or the Canadians in behind rather. Sarah Van Dam taking a big pull. It was Van Dam in front for Canada. France still with all 4 riders. And it is about a second and a half. And the French, I mentioned earlier, they didn't finish terribly strongly against Great Britain, but they look to be rectifying that right now. 1.7 ahead as we are closing in on 3/4 distance. All 4 riders still there for France. The Canadians almost 2 seconds behind. Ariane Bonhomme leading the way. Clara Caponi, a 25-year-old riding for Lidl Trek on the road, who was just in front that last time. Now it's Valentine Fortin. She rides for Cofidis. Elimination silver medalist from last year's World Championships in Glasgow. And adding to that lead, the Canadians are together. They're just not able to make any indent into that French side. France also down to 3 riders. And leading things around. And there is the bell. France looking like they are on their way to a bronze medal. Almost 2.5 seconds advantage, plenty of time to bring this around, and it will be France in formation at the line to claim bronze. And the Canadians 3.5 seconds adrift. Will have to settle for 4th place, just off the podium. France were 7th at the European Championships. They will pick up a bronze medal here today. So the first medal of the day for the French, or of the weekend for the French rather. And of course, so much preparation with the expectation of a nation on their shoulders. Track cycling will be one of the, well, anything with bikes will be a prestige event this summer in France, in Paris. Of course, the velodrome in Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines, just outside of downtown Paris. And now the race for gold. Rainbow bands on one side, European Championship colors on the other side. Great Britain against Italy. Look at Katie Archibald. Also Jessica Roberts, Josie Knight, and Anna Morris. Pretty much, you see 3 European champions jerseys on one side. It's Elisa Balsamo, Chiara Consoni, Martina Alzini, and Vittoria Guazzini for Italy. And a false start. In winning the European Championships, beat Great Britain. And that's donating the body to the cause. Hopefully she's okay, but there is a medal here for the French side. But Katie Archibald, major engine on that Great Britain side, was not at those European Championships. So there is potentially a false start out of position number 4, Anna Morris. Of course, the Great Britain side, just a couple weeks ago really, got the news that the great Laura Kenny, Omnium and Team Pursuit gold medal from 2012 and 2016. Madison gold medal from Tokyo. Did finally announce her retirement. I believe a year ago I was saying that she had her second child, Kenny and Jason Kenny. Great track cycling, the first track cycling for Great Britain, really. But she had been trying, but just the opportunities to get back into that Great Britain trackside just coming up short. And so she has decided to retire, spend time with that family of theirs. But there is plenty of talent coming through Great Britain. So Jessica Roberts, the only rider on Great Britain not with the World Champions kit. Through their first 2 rides of this morning, she would be the one that would be first to go. She left the 3 teammates in rainbow bands to finish. Here's the Archibald, Roberts, Knight, and Morris for Great Britain. Bazzini, Alzini, Consoni, and Balsamo. Of course, Balsamo is having a pretty darn good season on the road as well. Rider for Lidl Trek, runner-up in the Ronde van Drenthe and Gent-Wevelgem, and winner of the Trofeo Alfredo Binda and the Brugge de Pan, and then of course runner-up at the Paris-Roubaix. That epic one-day race, and first time check early on, the blink of an eye between these two sides. And in the early going, it's Italy. 2 laps to the good. Martina Alzini just pulls up to take her time at the back. Settling into the draft in this race. Of course, unlike the team sprint, where you're riding into that lead rider, this one you want everyone line astern, tucked in as best as possible. Maximize that draft. And when your turn is done, you swing up and then dive down, use the bend to your advantage to get right back on that wheel. And you just see, look at the Italians doing just that. And it's 0.6 of a second right now. Italy in front. Great Britain now closing down to half a second. And you see it on occasion, sometimes when Katie Archibald's pulling, she just rides her teammates off her wheel, but she does such an incredible job of pulling that they come along with the drift too. And even when they fall apart a little bit at the end, they build up such an advantage that they can hang on. And it's down to 0.3 of a second. And as I mentioned, the last round, they put in something of a scare. France really pushed Great Britain last time around. Britain left it late, and Canada was given a good or Italy was given a good challenge by Canada, rather, at the halfway mark now. 0.3 of a second separating these two teams. That advantage has barely moved in the last few time checks. And it is 0.25, inching back. These teams are both very well drilled. They are both riding their own races. They both know what they have to do. They have these things planned out, maybe to the lap when the first rider goes. And it is 2.74. So Italy inching out bit by bit. Last year it was Katie Archibald, Nia Evans, Megan Barker, and Josie Knight winning gold ahead of Germany and Canada. And there is the first rider peeling off for Great Britain. And this time Jessica Roberts is staying in. Italy down to 3 as well. It's out to half a second. And at what point is it just Katie Archibald taking the British team on her shoulders, saying, follow me, I will guide us home. It's Balsamo in front for Italy, and they have 9/10 of a second. Both sides, though, have gaps for opening up. Britain staying closer. There is that draft. They are looking much more compact. There's one Italian rider off the back. And this might be some big time jumps coming back, and it is, in fact, Great Britain in front by a wide margin now. Couple laps to go, and Italy coming apart, and Great Britain have this one nailed. 2.3 seconds to the good, over 3 seconds right now at the bell. The world champions living up to the rainbow stripes. 3 riders all together coming around to set the gold medal pace here. And it is Great Britain. Look out, Paris. This team is on. And there is Italy falling apart a little bit at the end. Almost 6.5 seconds in arrears. And so they led for so long, but it started to spread apart. And the race turned on a dime, and the rainbow stripes win here in Milton. Pulled the fast one on me. In the end, Jessica Roberts did stay on for the end. She was the rider who would peel off earlier in the day, but she stuck together with her 2 rainbow-clad teammates. And it is Great Britain taking gold. This side wasn't in Hong Kong, China a month ago. And they were silver medals to New Zealand to start off this season in Adelaide. So it's a name, Katie Archibald, certainly accustomed to being atop the podium. Is this the first of many this weekend, we say of her? Confirmation of the results: Great Britain, Italy, France. The podium, Canada in 4th, and then 5th on down. The racers who went this morning, all the way down to Canada, be there in 13th. And so Great Britain coming into this weekend in the Nations Cup, because there is a Nations Cup. Great Britain were the overall leaders coming in. Australia and New Zealand not sending full teams, not sending any teams if I'm not mistaken. And Japan were in 4th. So Great Britain just adding to that overall lead right now. And certainly some notes for that side as they look to add Olympic glory to their European title later on this summer. So the backdrop is set up. There'll be a brief pause in the racing as they will give out the first medals of this weekend. It will be for the men's elimination race. We're going to send it down to the floor in just a little bit. We are going to have a word. There's Steve Fleck will be on our floor interviewing racers all weekend. And he's got the winner of the men's elimination race. Dylan Bibick is down there with him, so we will get that to you very shortly. And we're going to go down to the floor now, actually, for Steve Fleck interviewing Dylan Bibick.
I am with the winner of the men's elimination race at the 2024 Milton Track Cycling Nations Cup, Dylan Bibick from Canada. Dylan, what did it feel like to win the first final of the evening at the whole of the event?
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling winning in front of a home crowd. I think this is my third year in doing Milton Nations Cup, and this is my first time getting a medal here, and it's just an amazing feeling winning in front of a home crowd.
Watching an elimination race is stressful. Watching an elimination race is stressful. What's it like riding and racing one?
Yeah, I definitely made that one stressful. I think I can count 5 times where it was a close call, and it came down to a bike throw, but I'd do it no other way. I entertained the crowd, I think.
How's the preparation going for Paris this summer?
Yeah, it's great. I think with the right training, I think I can get an Olympic medal.
Dylan Bibick, your elimination race champion. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, Dylan.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve and Dylan. The first gold medal of the weekend going to the home side, and he'll be up on the podium in just a few minutes to collect that. And we'll see him, I would imagine, also in the Omnium this weekend as the man who won the endurance portion of the UCI Champions League last year. The supremely talented young Canadian, winning all sorts of praise and plaudits for his talent and a chance to fulfill it this summer. Now, time for the medals.
Tissot UCI Track Nations Cup Milton men's elimination. Et puis à la cérémonie de remise des prix de la combination Tissot UCI Milton 2024, élimination homme. The medal and gifts will be presented by Mayor of Milton, Gordon France. Médaille et cadeaux seront présentés par le maire de Milton, Gordon France. In third place, representing Great Britain, en troisième place, représentant la Grande-Bretagne, Mark Stewart. In second place, representing Japan, en deuxième place, représentant le Japon, Shunsuke Imamura. In first place, representing Canada, en première place, représentant le Canada, Dylan One more time, your medalist. Bon appétit, vos médaillés.
First podium of the weekend. Always like to see the podium prizes as well. And I think this is the second year in a row at least where coffee has been given, and they're cyclists, so I imagine that coffee will be put to good use. Could be gone by the end of the weekend. So the first formalities of the weekend, and you get another look at Bibick's win from earlier. With Imamura saying, nope, I do not have the legs to push you around turn 3 and turn 4. And so, and racing at home. quite the send-off, although he's not quite getting sent off just yet. So he still has some racing still to come. Next up, we have the women's team sprint. And this one is for the medals. And just getting set up. First up, the race for bronze will have Poland and Canada. For gold, the defending champions from the Netherlands going up against the Netherlands. It's going to be a new champion either way because Great Britain won both of the Nations Cup stops earlier this season. And it's going to be a completely new podium altogether, as it was Great Britain, Germany, and China last month, and Great Britain, China, and New Zealand 2 months ago. On the home stretch on this side, this is where I am. I'm on the side where Poland is starting, looking right down on the riders lining up, and from my vantage point, the Canadians will be starting on the far side. Looks like it actually is a change coming to Canada. Lauriane Genet will not be the third rider. It's actually going to be Jackie Boyle. So there's a change coming to the Canadians as they race for bronze. Look at the Polish side, which is unchanged. Marlena Karwaka, Ursula Wosch, and Nicola Sibiak. Poland. So we've got the lineup, those three same riders. Bronze a year ago here. Canadians were in the silver medal position. There's confirmation of the change. Jackie Boyle swapping in for Lauriane Genet. Not sure if there was an injury or what. Boyle is a member of the team that won bronze at the 2023 Pan Am Games in Santiago, Chile. The team sprint silver at the 2023 Pan Am Championships. And at the moment, it is Canada in front by a whisker right now. And as the first transition comes, it is still the Canadians by about 0.07 of a second as Mitchell leads around Boyle. And at the bell, it is very, very close. It is about 0.2 of a second. The difference right now, and Boyle in unfamiliar position, just being thrown in, and she is down by about 0.4 of a second, and it looks like Nicole Sibiak will bring Poland around to claim bronze by about a second over the Canadian side. And Poland celebrating a bronze medal. The Canadian team fourth place in the team pursuit, fourth place in the team sprint as well. Got the replay. No restart needed this time. Held a slight advantage really up until the final exchange, and then that's when Nicola Sibiak put her team on her shoulders and carried them to a bronze medal. now the race for gold. The defending champions from Mexico going up against the Netherlands. 4th place at the World Championships last year. Last year in Glasgow, they had Shanna Braspenix, Kyra Lemerick, and Hedy Vanderwouw. This time, Kyra Lemerick, Hedy Vanderwouw, and Steffi Vanderpeet. There is that start trio. And Mexico, Jessica Salazar, Yuli Verdugo, Luz Daniela Gathiola. More cleanly away. This Mexico side, it's really the same trio. Competes just about at every event. They are a well-drilled side. Velodromes in Mexico. In the early going, very little separating the two as they get up to full speed. And right now, look at that 1/100th of a second, the difference. Mexico with the slight advantage, but things are tipping the Netherlands' way, and it is at the bell. Hedy Vanderwouw pulling off Steffi Vanderpeet. Has about 1/4 of a second to work with. And they are adding to that lead. 4/10 of a second is Steffi Vanderpeet, bringing the Netherlands around to gold here in Milton. By about 1/2 of a second, it is the Netherlands taking gold ahead of Mexico. Close in the early going, but the Dutch showing their class in the end. The crowd, what an event that's going to be. So many possibilities with the Brits, the Germans, the Netherlands. All capable of putting up some big numbers, never mind China and New Zealand. So now the race is on. Good luck handicapping that race in France coming up in a few months' time. We just did an awards ceremony, but why not? Let's have another one. There's going to be another one coming up for the women's team pursuit that you just saw a moment ago. Moving the program right along with Great Britain, Italy, and France, making it an all-European podium. And then when we get back down to business, will be the men's team pursuit. There's a look at the women's team sprint, the Netherlands, Mexico, and Poland. Yeah, like I mentioned, after the team pursuit for women award ceremony, we will have the men's team pursuit races for the medals. Hedy Vanderwouw celebrating a gold medal there. Her hair matching her Team Netherlands jersey quite nicely. And the next time the best in the world get together, they will have the bragging rights as the winners of the last international event before the Olympics. is getting into place for the podium presentations coming up. And we are just about to head back down to the floor. Steve Fleck will speak with the world champions and the winners of the women's team pursuit.
I am with the team pursuit champions here at the Milton Track Cycling Cup, Tissot Track Cycling Cup in Milton, speaking on behalf of the team, the great, the amazing Katie Archibald. What does it mean to come here to Canada and win this team pursuit with the Olympic Games to come later on this summer?
It means a lot. We're sort of old hats here in Milton now. We've raced here 3 or 4 times, but it's always a challenge trying to adapt to this environment and make the most out of this track. So it makes you proud every time to end up on the podium, and today the top step. Couldn't be happier.
Josie Knight, what does it feel like to come to a place like this and to wear for a year the rainbow bands around your chest as the world champions in the team pursuit?
Yeah, it's really special, and we started the year at the European Championships where we came second, and then in Adelaide Nations Cup we came second again, so to come here to Milton and to get our first win in the rainbow bands heading into the Olympics is really special.
Well, congratulations the team, and best wishes for the rest of the season and onwards to Paris.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Defending champions, it should be noted. Great Britain winning last year, largely with the same team, but the headliner, the woman who sits on the front for a lot of it, Katie Archibald. Born in Surrey, but has that hint of Glaswegian, having spent much of her life up in Scotland. And we will see them get their medals in just a few moments. An all-European podium. A lot of these racers know each other from the track and from the road. Great Britain, Italy, and France, the podium for the women's team pursuit.
Welcome to the award ceremony for the 2024 Tissot UCI Track Nations Cup Milton Women's Team Pursuit. Bienvenue à la cérémonie de remise des prix de la coordination Tissot UCI Milton 2024, hospitalité Milton.
A familiar sight atop the podium in the women's team pursuit. Great Britain defending their title here in Milton. Italy, the silver medal, and France in third. Returning to the action shortly. Men's team pursuit, the races for the medals coming up. Of course, in the men's team pursuit, Great Britain will be trying to do the double. Going for the men's and women's gold medals, but up first will be the race for bronze. There you have it for bronze. France taking on Japan. Just trying to see. Now they come up to the track, the Asian champions from Japan. There's a look at France. Thomas Bouda, Thomas Denis. Valentin Tabellion to finish things off. Corentin Hermano. That's the name I was missing there. And Japan has Aya Hashimoto, Naoki Kojima, Shunsuke Imamura, Kazushige Kuboki. All four of those men wearing those Asian champion bands that similar to the world champions bands. We are counting down 20 seconds. Goes the Japanese team, coming away with a silver medal. They started the year with a 5th place performance in Adelaide. And leading France around, Thomas Bouda, the 30-year-old from Langon, which is in the Gironde, which is, you're in the southwest part of the country, you're in wine country near Bordeaux. And already, France about half a second to the good. It was Aya Hashimoto leading things off, and it's just France, at least early on, putting in a big surge. And Bouda is peeling off. He runs for a continental side on the road, Van Rijssel-Roubaix. On the Japanese side, through. It's 1.6 seconds, so France early on just flooring it. And they are over 2 seconds to the good. Thomas Denis taking a turn, the 26-year-old from Bignon, which is in Brittany, up in northern France. They are now 2.2 seconds ahead. Naoki Kojima leading Japan around the last time. And he is still taking his turn, and it's still Thomas Denis, and he pulls off. And now it's Hermano leading France, and they're almost 3 seconds ahead. Kazushige Kuboki trying to pull his team back into it, but right now it is France not even at the halfway mark, almost 3 seconds ahead. And might the pursuit be made? Putting the pursuit in pursuit. France closing in at a rapid pace. as Kuboki pulls off for Japan. This one, looking as we pass the halfway mark, it has France written all over it. And it is Valentin Tabellion leading France around. As Japan goes down to 3 riders, France still all together. Tabellion, another rider for Van Rijsselrooy, 24-year-old. And the pursuit catch is at hand. We're not even at 3,000 meters, and it's 5 seconds for France. Time not really a matter here, so they might call this one, or we will see, actually. Don't want to say it just yet. And there is the flag. Red flag letting them know that the French are coming. It's over 6 seconds. France keeping all 4 riders together with 3 laps to go. 6.5 seconds. France looking to go double bronze. As now France finally does lose a rider, and there is the gun. And the catch is made. Pursuit accomplished for France, and that nets them a bronze medal. Japan, of course, will settle for 4th, and they just dropped the hammer early. And this was almost over before it started. France laying down the law in the bronze medal race. They'll be on the podium. Two-thirds of the women's team pursuit podium will be the exact same. There's a look at that French side, just drilling it early on. Japan, a valiant effort. At least this race will go to Les Bleus. Once you see the opposing team in your sight, it's just the carrot dangling in front. Good teamwork from the French. Allez, allez, allez. And the race for gold. European champions. Great Britain taking on Belgium, and it's all 4 of the British riders are wearing those European champions jerseys. Ethan Hayter, Daniel Bigham, Ollie Wood, and Ethan Vernon. Some World Tour road talent out there as well. And for Belgium, Tour d'Ens, Thibaut Bernard, Joran van Gucht, Van den Branden. Belgium 6th at the European Championships. Will be Ethan Hayter leading out Great Britain. Half the British team is named Ethan. And already Belgium falling apart. They've missed a rider. And that is disaster for them. And so Britain, you would think, would be odds on here for gold, but they obviously can't count their chickens before they hatch. They have to get 3 riders to the line to register a time. And it's Ethan Vernon leading things around for Great Britain, the man from Bedford, the 23-year-old. New to Israel Premier Tech this year. Last year he was with Quick Step, where he has pulled his time at the front. Vernon has a stage win of the Tour des Alpes Maritimes on the road. So Belgium having to make do with 3 riders almost from the off, and it's Ethan Hayter now in front. You go from one World Tour team to another, at least the team that rides on World Tour Israel Premier Tech to Ineos Grenadiers. And Hayter's turn is done. He swings off, and it's 1.8 seconds. Great Britain on course to do the double. They won the women's team pursuit a moment ago. Now over 2 seconds ahead as they pursue the men's team pursuit. It's Tour Dens in front for Belgium. The 23-year-old from Rotselaar. It's close to the border with the Netherlands. He's doing what he can, but you just have that extra person to bury themselves on the front if you're Great Britain, and more time in the draft, more rest for the British riders. And it is all just looking very academic right now. They might even make the pursuit here, just past the halfway mark, 3.5 seconds. Coming around the turn, just an impressive force, 4 riders, 1 team. And now it is Great Britain down to 3, but there's a lot more in the tank for the Brits as Belgium starts to lose another rider, doing the best they can, and that is all she wrote. The European champions taking the men's team pursuit here in Milton. They're still pushing. Commissaires trying not to let them. And now they were locked in. They'll just have to make do with a gold medal. And a pretty solid performance. Of course, Belgium left to rue what happened here, but the European champions finishing on top of the podium here. They were not on the podium at the World Championships in Glasgow, so they did not finish. And so, as they attempt to land Olympic glory, step 1 is done here in Canada. And we will actually see them very shortly to collect their spoils. We have 2 medal presentations coming up in just a few minutes. It will be the women's team sprint, the men's team pursuit, and then the final 2 events of the evening, the women's elimination and the men's team sprint races for the medals. Confirmation, Great Britain taking gold, Belgium silver, France bronze, Japan 4th, and Italy in 5th place. And so almost identical podium to the women's team pursuit. Just swap out Belgium in place of Italy. And the first podium we're going to see in this little break will be the women's team sprint. And you have a look down at the floor. The Dutch winners, the winners from the Netherlands in the team sprint. We're going to have a word with them. Stand by.
I am with the Dutch team, the winners of the women's team sprint. Congratulations, ladies. What does it feel like to come to Canada and win such a prestigious event as this?
It feels really good, of course. I'm really proud of us because, yeah, we won, so that's already really nice, but also we did really good times, so we can be really proud of that.
The Dutch take their track sprinting really, really seriously. How important is it to win something like this in an Olympic year with the Paris Olympic Games on the horizon?
Of course, it's very important and gives a boost towards the Olympics, so yeah, it's very nice.
The Dutch women, your winners of the team sprint for the women here at the Milton Track Cycling Nations Cup.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I'll look back at the winners. Aside from the Netherlands. Leading off, Kyra Lemmerink, Hedy van der Wouw, and then Steffi van der Peet finishing things off. And we will see them get their medals in just a few moments. Once again,
Welcome to the award ceremony for the 2024 Tissot UCI Track Nations Cup Milton Women's Team Sprint. Bienvenue à la cérémonie de remise de la combinaison Tissot UCI Milton 2024.
there's a look at the team from Poland. Getting accustomed to picking up bronze medals in the women's team sprint. Exactly the same finishing position as last year. The of the Netherlands in the middle. A team that has plenty of experience together, well drilled. The winners from last year, Mexico, having to settle for the silver medal, but it's their best result of the season on Nations Cup.
Representing Poland en troisième place, représentant la Pologne, Marlena Karwanka, Ursula Loss, and
Poland.
Nicola Sibia.
Fourth in Adelaide, fifth in Hong Kong, China, on the podium here in Milton. Mexican side next up. 7th to begin the year. 8th last month. Now a silver medal in a track where they've had some good results.
In second place, representing
Karwanka, Ursula Wosch, and Nicola Sibiak for Poland. Mexico lose Daniela Gathiola, Jessica Salazar, and Yuli Verdugo. Verdugo, 26 years old, from Baja California. Gathiola, the last to get the medal in the coffee there, 31-year-old from Sinaloa. And here we are with our champions. How quickly will that coffee get through over the course of this weekend? It's a stereotype, but if you like bikes, the stereotype is that you also drink a lot of coffee. And our winners from the Netherlands. see how they fare in a few months' time. The likes of Great Britain, Germany's top side, New Zealand and China, and the whole world will be looking upon France. Just it's really a few short weeks now. The bragging rights today, and momentum goes to the Netherlands. Not done just yet with the medals and the consumable podium prize. Men's team pursuit podium coming up.
So individuals should be over the shoulder. That's obviously that. Teams should just stick with the team and follow the fate rather than make
The European champions and the winners here in the men's team pursuit from Great Britain. They were 6th in Hong Kong a month ago, but it was a completely different side. This side are 2 for 2 in Nations Cup this year. They won in Adelaide, and of course here. And before they get their medals, they're going to have a word with our Steve Fleck. You see them lining up right there. So we are just going to head down to the floor shortly. Steve Fleck.
I am with the representative of Team Great Britain who just won the men's team time trial, Dan Bingham. Dan, how does it feel to come back to Canada, win this very important race in an Olympic year?
I think it feels pretty awesome across the team. We won here last year, but with a totally different squad. So yeah, to have us here and for all 5 of us to ride and be in the European Champs jersey as our last race into the Olympics, it's pretty special.
You had some misfortune at the World Championships in Glasgow last year. Is this a year of redemption going into Paris and the Olympic Games? You guys are riding really strong.
Absolutely, we've managed to really turn it around in this Nations Cup series. We've had 3 totally different teams across 3 Nations Cups. That's 2 wins and I think 5th as well. So super happy across the squad. It shows you've got so much strength and depth.
Congratulations again, Dan, and best wishes for the rest of the season and to the whole of the team.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Daniel Bingham, 32 years old, from Newcastle under Lyme. One of the few real riders who really sticks to the track, doesn't ride with a road outfit. But he has worked with Ineos Grenadiers as a performance engineer, working on their aerodynamics. And in a race like this, aero goes a long way. Mr. Bingham on this side. We'll get their medals here shortly.
For Tissot UCI Track Nations Cup Milton, men's team pursuit. Bienvenue à la cérémonie de mise de la coordination Tissot UCI de Milton 2024, construite canadienne.
Both races for the medals had the pursuit being made, the catches. They never lasted the full 4,000 meters. There is the podium. France in bronze, Belgium in silver. And as you heard, Great Britain winning gold to do the double in the team pursuit. Of course, there are 5 riders. Some of them as they made swaps during the competition.
And medals and gifts.
So everyone who
saw action will get medals.
In third place, representing France.
So France is 5, Thomas Bouda, Benjamin Thomas, Thomas Denis, Valentin Tabellion, Corentin Hermano. France did not take part in the Adelaide Nations Cup. They raced in Hong Kong with a much different side, finishing in 8th, but the Nations Cup equally important to get qualification points and to see what riders are peaking just in time. Corentin Hermano, Valentin Tabellion, Benjamin Thomas, Thomas Denis, and Thomas Bouda.
In second place, representing Belgium,
The Belgian fivesome. Thibaut Bernard, Tour Dens, Joran van Gucht, Noah van den Branden, and Lindsay de Wilder. Belgium really now the only side with that teal sky blue ensemble. They used to sort of be similar to Canada in that way, with that iconic Belgian flag wrapped around the belly. But the Canadians have gone really red and white. They've ditched that sky blue number, so that really exclusively belongs to Belgium these days. Lindsay de Wilder on the road for the Flanders Baloise team. And then the winners, Great Britain. Big win, Daniel Bigham, Ethan Hayter, Ethan Vernon, Oliver Wood, and Charlie Tanfield. All 5 getting that European jersey. For Ollie Wood, as World Championship medals, European Championship medals, Commonwealth Games medals. I think he's just missing an Olympic medal. And you can see they're studying what's in that coffee. Did anyone bring the espresso machine? There might be a teammate who brings an espresso machine. It sounds silly, but it may happen. It has been done. Team that's used to standing atop the podium. Great Britain. And I will say it ad nauseum over the course of this weekend. The next time we're going to see a lot of these riders using Saint-Quentin en Yvelines. The Olympic rings beckon. Out of the way for another little bit now. Great Britain will get the victor's picture. And we will get ready for our final races of the evening. Coming up next is the women's elimination race. But more shots of the victorious Brits. It's a feeling they're used to. Riders start to come back out. Leading the way, the lone Norwegian in this weekend, Anita Stenberg, but she's notable in that she is the defending champion, and I'm going to call her out right now because last year I kept saying her name, and in an elimination race When you're saying someone's name a lot, it means they're in danger. And she lived life dangerously for so long, but then won the race. But what a field. There's Jennifer Valente, the American great. Maria Martins of Portugal. There is a look at Lisa van Bel of the Netherlands. Van Bel was 15th in Hong Kong a month ago. South Africa represented by Danielle van Niekerk. That's a rider from Laos. Fanny Melissa Koshwa won. Ovation for Sarah Van Dam, the Canadian. She'll be the entrant here. Rider in the Azzurri kit is Letizia Paternoster. 20, she turns 25 this year. There is Stenberg. And the funny thing about her is, after watching some of her races, she likes to sort of sit back there. She likes to have that little element of danger, does Stenberg. Gold here in Milton last year in the elimination, 9th in the Omnium. She ended up finishing 8th at the World Championships. But Stenberg, silver medal in the elimination. There is the great American Jennifer Valente. Team Pursuit didn't go really according to plan. They did not end up racing for the medals, did the United States, but I could list her achievements, but I would be keeping you here for quite a while. Jennifer Valente, the overall endurance winner from the 2022 Champions League. Omnium Gold, defending Omnium Olympic champion is Valente. I'll just keep it at those because, like I said, I could go on for quite some time. Stenberg in the red, the white, and the blue of Norway. Whistle. Reminder, this is just the warm-up lap. The gun will go, the next lap the bell will go, and then after that, the eliminations begin. So after listing all the big names who may appear at the front at the end, we will now cast our gaze to the back. Oh, and there's a double gun. So it looks like it might be a mechanical there. Ayana Mizutani of Japan. Didn't seem to get the start off. So the riders were so focused they didn't hear the double gun the first time, and it took another fire to get them sorted out. I believe that is called in zone. We are only focused on what's around you. But they got the message the second time, and we will have a pause here. There is Ayana Mizutani. Actually the runner-up at the National Championship road race for Japan last year. So we will do this all over again. Mizutani was 17th in the elimination in Adelaide. And after this, the riders start to form up again. As the support staff comes back out onto the track. There's Margarita Misurina, pardon me, of Uzbekistan. I believe I saw Olga Zabelinskaya, the great flag bearer for that Uzbekistan program earlier today. And everyone slots into what's essentially their grid position. Of course, the higher ranked you are, the closer you're going to be to the front. The winner of the elimination from last month, Yumi Kajihara, is not here. Two riders flying the flag for Japan, Maho Kakita and Ayana Mizutani, as I mentioned. Stenberg, runner-up a month ago. Fourth place went to Olivia Balasaita of Lithuania, but she's another one who's not here. But we will focus on who is. And off we go. This time we'll see if the gun goes. Covering their ears down there. Indeed, we are now underway this time. And so we will train our eyes to the back to see who might get eliminated. Not going to be this time around. This time will be the bell. And there you have it. So as we look to see who's back there, Ebtisam Zayed Ahmed of Egypt was near the back, but she is rapidly moving up on the outside. And it is Mizutani in danger, potentially going out, but it might be down on the inside there. And it is Daniel van Niekerk of South Africa, the first to go. And another elimination lap coming up, and once again it's Mizutani and Li Che-wing of Hong Kong, China, both in the precarious situation right now. Mizutani trying to go around the outside, may have nowhere to go, but down on the inside, there's a shake of the head. And it is from Laos, Fanny Melissa Koshwa-on. And there's the danger. There was that opening on the inside, but as Mizutani moved around the outside, the rider from Laos just had nowhere to go, and she got boxed in, and she shook her head. She knew she got caught. She'd been had. And another sprint lap, another elimination lap. It is Jasmine Lichty of Switzerland near the back. And she is, in fact, the next to go. And the rider from Switzerland is the next to go. Now we look who's back there. It is Yareli Acevedo of Mexico. And this is a bit of a surprise. She won bronze in Hong Kong. She has nowhere to go. She looks up, she looks down. Is she just finding an opening on the inside? I think she is. And it is Ayana Mizutani, the next to go. And Yareli Acevedo looked high, and then she really had nowhere to go but the inside, but that time it saved her. But now
Bronze medal winner from a month ago, in trouble once again. But look who else is back there. Jennifer Valente of the United States, but Valente coolly moving up the outside. It's Amber Joseph of Barbados, perhaps the next to go, and indeed she is. Pardon me. And there is Acevedo by decision going out, and I believe it's because she went down on the blue band. The thought did cross my mind seeing that the last time. She made up the sprint going down onto the blue band, that light blue lane. You cannot do that in a sprint, and so that is the decision. Now it's Sarah Van Dam from Canada going up around the outside to fight things off, and it's the rider from Slovakia perhaps in trouble, or one from Germany. Is it Teutenberg of Germany? And it is Leolyn Teutenberg. The 24-year-old is the next to go, and it's Amber Joseph again dangling out the back, the 24-year-old from Bridgetown. Trains in Europe, based in the UK and Switzerland, and now it is Joseph getting around the outside, but now she's caught up with nowhere to go. Teutenberg still there on the inside. Joseph again trying on the outside. Maybe she saved it. We are waiting a word. Well, the decision is going to have to come here. No decision was given, no elimination, and so we couldn't make the call that quickly. And look who's at the back. It's last year's champion, Anita Stenberg. And kind of accustomed to seeing it, but will she survive? This time she is in danger a little bit. It's going to be close. There's several there. And who goes this time? And it is Margarita Misurina from the Tashkent City Cycling Club, the trade team out of Uzbekistan. And it's Joseph and Stenberg. Joseph really burning a big match to get around the outside there, trying to stave off elimination. It's side by side. It's two abreast coming to the line. It's going to be close. Who stays in? And it's down at the bottom. And it's Nafosat Kozieva of the Uzbekistan national team. So in back-to-back eliminations, riders from Uzbekistan are eliminated. And again, it's that danger of being on the inside that costs the riders. And again, look who's back there, Anita Stenberg. But she is very comfortable back there. It's her office. And will I eat my words this time around? Nope, Stenberg's going to make it up this time. And it is Maho Kakita from the Rakuten K-Dreams, the trade team out of Japan. And we are moving right along. Stenberg there again. We just assume that every elimination she'll be there before she makes a move around the outside. This time it's Stenberg trying to get around Elzbieta Bachikova of Slovakia. It doesn't appear to be that urgent as Stenberg gets around and survives another elimination, and I think it is Bachikova. Indeed, that is the case. We are down to about 15 or so riders left. And it is that woman again, Stenberg, Amber Joseph, and it's Joseph again having to put in a big effort, trying to close up. She's had to do a few big efforts. There comes a time where you just run out of gas from having to sprint so many times, but I think she staved off elimination again. It is, oh, pardon me, it is the rider out of Belgium. It is Katrien de Klerk. Look how close that is. It was very close between her and Li Che-wing of Hong Kong, China.
And it's the same faces we've said a few times. And it's Amber Joseph. Valiant effort, but just too many sprints for her. Just not enough to work another magic trick. And she will get 12th here. Pardon me, there is a decision. It's Lisa van Bell of the Netherlands. But spare a thought to Amber Joseph, who thought she was out and now has to fight herself chasing again, and she's close. It was a decision to get Lisa van Bell of the Netherlands eliminated there. And this time, Amber Joseph's race is run. And we're down to our top 10. Kudos to her. Rider who generally did a lot of riding in the UK, but wanted to represent Barbados. And another sprint lap is on. And now we are watching at the back Ebtissam Zayed Ahmed of Egypt, and a good burst of pace from her to get around the outside. She goes right to the front. It might be a better idea to just sit up. You don't often see an attack, but she is being safe. I am not eliminated this time. That will go to Gabriela Bartova of Czechia. A look at the replay, and you can see Lisa van Bell down there on the blue band, and that is potentially where she would have gotten her elimination. But another sprint lap is afoot. Sarah Van Dam of Canada is near the back, but this one could go to Li Che-wing of Hong Kong, China, but she might just stave off elimination. And that is Maria Martins of Portugal, 7th in Hong Kong, China a month ago. And another elimination now coming up. And once again, Li Che-wing of Hong Kong, China there at the back. So is Stenberg, but we're used to seeing her back there by now. And this time, I think it's the rider from Egypt. It is Ebtissam Zayed Ahmed. Nice race from her, getting into the top 10. Now we're down to our final 7. And might the Canadians do the double in the elimination? We saw Dylan Bibick taking it earlier. Sarah Van Dam is hanging in, and this one is going to be very close. Several options. Stenberg's having to leave it late. Stenberg's having to push. Does she make it? And it is the rider from Poland. Maja Trachka. And so Anita Stenberg, the cardiac kid, staving off another elimination, down to 5, almost at the podium. And this time, nice ovation for the rider from Hong Kong, China. Pardon me. It was Laura Rodriguez of Spain. She snuck away without me noticing. Apologies there. And we are down to 5. And it's Valente on the front. Stenberg again. This is just a carbon copy of last year so far from Anita Stenberg. Doing just enough to avoid elimination again. And this time, indeed, it is Li Che-wing of Hong Kong, China. Down to 4. Stenberg, Valente, Van Dam, and Paternoster.
A lot of looking around, seeing who's over the shoulder. Stenberg with another surge. Paternoster makes a chase as well. 3 abreast down the back stretch. Valente holding them off. It's Van Dam really on the inside line. I think she's boxed in. Sarah Van Dam of Canada, I believe, is the next to go, indeed. And down to 3, the great Jennifer Valente, the defending Omnium Olympic champion. The defending elimination champion from here in Milton, Anita Stenberg. Perhaps a bit of a surprise here, Letizia Paternoster of Italy, but that is it for Anita Stenberg. This time, it comes back to bite her just a little bit, and she just has nothing left. And it's almost a coasting around for these front two, as they know it's now a 2-up sprint. Nice smile from her. It's a tough race. Back-to-back podium appearances for her, and now it's the great Jennifer Valente, Letizia Paternoster of Italy. And the sprint is already on with 250 meters to go. It's Valente up high, ducking a bit into the slipstream, trying to get into that sprinter's lane. She's way down low. And Paternoster closed it down. And it's going to be Letizia Paternoster taking that one. And Jennifer Valente tried to sneak into that sprinter's lane up the inside. Paternoster said no. She celebrates the victory. Turns 25 this year. So this is where the sprint opened up. It was a long sprint after a very long elimination race. Valente tries to sneak in on the bottom. Paternoster keeps the sprinter's lane for herself. Valente down onto the blue band, and that's where she sort of goes, yeah, I was on the blue band for a little too much of it. And there is an announcement, and it is Letizia Paternoster getting relegated, and perhaps getting in front of Valente. Cost her down that backstretch. It really was close quarters there on the backstretch, and Paternoster, ecstasy turns to heartbreak. And I don't... So we'll wait for the official results to go. The announcement has gone out over the PA that there has been a relegation, but we will wait to see. That looks like heartbreak to me. And it is, in fact, Jennifer Valente of the United States taking the victory. Letizia Paternoster was relegated, but only to second place, so she doesn't fall off the podium entirely. She will have a silver medal. And this is a look at it right here, and so it's just cutting her off there. And she really had nowhere to go but down to the blue band there. So that's the ruling. And so flip it. There's Valente, gold, Paternoster, silver, and Stenberg in almost a repeat of last year, taking bronze and another 4th place for the Canadians. Now we're going to go back to team sprint. They're already on the track. It's the race for bronze. It is Canada and Italy. Tyler Rourke, Ryan Dodick, and Nick James Hedgecock, pardon me. Italy has Stefano Minuta, Mattia Predomo, and Matteo Bianchi as the trio. Canada in a photo finish coming ahead of France in the last round. And right now, through the first lap, it is 2/100ths of a second separating these two sides. 2 laps to go. Nothing between them. 1/10 of a second. The Canadians left it late last time around. James Hedgecock put in a push, but he has 3/10 of a second to pull back. It is Matteo Bianchi of Italy leading things around. It is closed again. Here comes Hedgecock, just over 1/10 of a second. What's the final split? And the Canadians take it. They've done it again. They left it late. James Hedgecock, an absolute surge, 2 races in a row. Canada taking bronze. And I sense a trend in the Canadian tactics. Last time it needed a photo finish, no denying that one. And almost as soon as Hedgecock took things over, he just clawed it back. Here's a look at the restart, or at the start, pardon me. And Dodic pulling Hedgecock along. Just that slipstream so nicely. And then once he was released, it was James Hedgecock pulling away. And so Canada will pick up a bronze medal. And now for gold. Of course, you have to look to the team clad in rainbows. Roy Vandenberg, Harry Leverijsen, and Jeffrey Hoogland from the Netherlands. That trio, on their day, nobody can match them. But is this their day? And Great Britain has Ed Lowe, Hamish Turnbull, and Jack Carlin. Britain does have a bronze medal from earlier this season, and we are inside 10 seconds. Everybody cleanly away. And the Netherlands smoothly into their formation. Great Britain, not too bad either. Couple hundredths of a second separating them as they come up to make the first exchange. Leverijsen taking over for the Netherlands, Turnbull for Great Britain, and it's about 2/10 of a second difference. Netherlands putting it out to 3/10 of a second at the bell. The difference is about half a second going away. The Netherlands right now, Jeffrey Hoogland. Nothing stops this man when he's at top speed. It is 7/10 of a second. Jeffrey Hoogland coming around. The Netherlands, oh my goodness, by 8/10 of a second take gold. Under 42 seconds. So I ask the question, is the Netherlands on their game? Today, emphatically, yes they are. Dispelling all talk of that 9th place from Hong Kong last month when they had sickness and enforced changes. Let that be a warning to the world. If this trio rolls into France in this form, the rest of the world is racing for a silver medal. That can put up, well, thousands of watts. Jeffrey Hoogland, another one of those names that we could be saying quite a few times this weekend. Confirmation, Netherlands by about 0.8 of a second. Great Britain, a valiant effort in second place. The Canadians sneaking up for third, and Italy and France in fourth and fifth place. So that actually concludes the race program for today, but we still have a few more medal presentations still to come. We still get to hear from a few of these gold medalists who get to roll into Paris victorious from here in Milton. This Dutch side, so much time racing together. Tomorrow, we'll have the men's Kieran. Might that be more Dutch victory? Final two medal presentations for the day will be that women's elimination race and those races that you just saw, the men's team sprint. Dutch victorious once again. Two gold medals on the day for the Netherlands. Great Britain, 4 medals already off and running this weekend, adding to their advantage in the Nations Cup standings. Taking a quick glance at tomorrow's schedule. As I mentioned off the top, the calendars, the programs for these Nations Cup are all pretty similar. So if you watch the Hong Kong, if you watch Adelaide, it's pretty similar to that. Men's Omnium tomorrow, women's sprint, men's Kieran. And the women's Madison as well.
And we can also please get Italy to the podium.
Wait for the medal winners. I'll just look down to see who's down there. Anita Stenberg is all ready to collect her bronze medal. I see Jennifer Valente making her way down. And then Letizia Paternoster of Italy. And Jennifer Valente has made her way down to the podium. She's down floor side with Steve Fleck. Let's go there right now.
Winner of the women's elimination race, the always exciting elimination race here at the UCI Track Nations Cup. The great Jennifer Valente, two-time Omnium world champion. Jennifer, that was a pretty exciting final in the elimination race. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, it's always a little bit of a different finish when there's a relegation or a judgment by the officials, but just kind of trying to stay in the moment the whole race and know who was still left in the field to be sprinting against.
You had a great Pan American Track Cycling Championships just a week ago in Los Angeles, 5 gold medals. How is the preparation going for Paris this summer?
Yeah, stacking 2 of the last Olympic qualifying races back-to-back weeks has been a really big block for us for racing for our whole U.S. team, and it's just been really exciting to wrap up Olympic qualifying.
Congratulations again for winning the elimination race. I know we're going to see you in the Omnium to come in the competition. How are you mentally preparing for that?
Two more events. I'm riding the Madison tomorrow as well. So just trying to take it one race at a time.
Congratulations again. Jennifer Valente, winner of the women's elimination racer at the Tissot UCI Track Nations Cup.
Thank you.
Well, that's a busy schedule. Also doing the Madison and the Omnium. She'll earn her rest this weekend, and as Steve mentioned, she had the Pan American Championships a week ago. So Valente really cruising into Olympic form. Here's a look at Valente. As she mentioned, the Olympic qualifying wrapping up after this weekend, and so the calculations and permutations and points will all be tallied up, and the berths and spots will be divvied up accordingly, and then teams can kind of start to plan who gets to go in what. And if they qualify their teams, then they likely get their specialists for the individual events as well. So as I mentioned, you want to get your teams qualified so that you can get your individuals. So good moment there between Valente and Paternoster. No hard feelings between the two, and of course it's in a sport like this, you don't want to carry a grudge since you're in close quarters, and when there's bad blood and tensions, and you're running the risk of some incidents on the track and crashes, and you of course don't want that. So always nice to see the sportsmanship between the riders. And here is our podium from the women's elimination race. Anita Stenberg,
President of Mattamy Homes Canada, GTU Division. Mattamy Homes Canada.
Stenberg back on the podium again last year. It was atop the podium. This year, she really lives dangerously, fighting off elimination on several occasions. But she finds her element there. It's back-to-back Nations Cup with eliminations medals for Anita Stenberg.
In second place, representing Italy,
Letizia Paternoster.
Letizia Paternoster.
Part of the European champion team pursuit side for Italy this year. 6th in the Omnium at the European Championships. This is her first Nations Cup, though.
And in first place, representing the USA,
Jennifer Valente, really one of the standard bearers of this American track program. I have to say, watching that interview, how locked in is she? She's all business. It's certainly paying off here. Nice little wave and a smile there, though, this time.
Let's give it up for your medalists.
She is one focused rider. Olympic medals from 2020 and 2016. World Championship medals from 2016, 17, 18, 20, 22. Go on and on. So the defending Omnium World and Scratch Race champion. Bronze from the last World Championships. And I'm sure there are many results, many palmares that I could mention another time, because I have a feeling I'm going to be talking about her quite a bit more this weekend. And we'll see her in the rainbow bands for the Omnium tomorrow. Last year we had a lot of Kopecky gracing the track here, but she's busy just ramping up and ratcheting up the victories on the road. Saw her win the Paris-Roubaix. And once she's thrown into the mix too, just how deep is this women's, particularly Omnium field going into Paris going to be? Just when you have Kopecky and Valente, Katie Archibald, and I could go on. It's just going to be just a special time, a real celebration of this sport once we get to Paris. Of course, the two Japanese riders who were 1 and 2 a month ago. Lara Gillespie winning bronze for Ireland. The Irish don't even have a team here. But
Take your pick. Pick your poison. Good luck handicapping that women's Omnium. Look at the Canadian side. Leaving it late in their last 2 races. By an eyelash against France in round 1. And then the late surge by James Hedgecock. We might see Kieran as well this weekend. So the Canadians are getting the camera time right now, since they're the only team right now they're ready to get their medals. However, the champions from the Netherlands are also heading down that way. Almost ready to be awarded. There's a look at 2 of the winners from the Netherlands. And there they are lined up. Let's go down to the floor from here from 2 of our winners from the Netherlands.
I am with Harry Lavriesen and Roy Vandenberg, 2 of the team members from the Dutch team that just won the men's team sprint. Harry, you've won the World Championships, you've won the Olympic Games, you are the world record holders. What else for you as a teammate on this great team is there for you to win?
I think we aim for another gold medal in Paris. And I think today was our last team sprint before Paris. And I think we wanted to go in the 42. We finally got it in the final, so good last step.
Rory, you are the dedicated start man on the team. What is the importance of that role to get this team rocking and rolling right from the start?
My role is to be explosive if possible and drop Harry off and Jeff off with the highest top speed. And I'm dedicated to that job fully. So. Aiming what Harry said for another gold medal in Paris, so that's the goal.
Jeffrey Hoogland, world record holder in the kilo, bringing it home. What does it feel like to come across the finish line riding for these 2?
Yeah, it's always a pleasure riding behind these 2. They drop me off so fast, which makes my job a lot easier. So now really happy with this team. Like Roy drops us off really well. Harry gets to a crazy top speed. And if I just hold on, I will do a good speed myself as well.
Congratulations, gentlemen, winners of the team sprint here at the Tissot UCI Track Nations Cup, and good luck this summer at Paris in the Olympic Games.
Thank you. Roy Vandenberg pretty much summing up what makes good team sprint. His job is to blast off, essentially, and then just present his 2 teammates to finish off the last 2 laps. And when you have Harry Lavriesen dropping off Jeffrey Hoogland, then it's an all-star team, isn't it? There's just no beating that roster. Well drilled, used to winning, expecting winning. And well, today they won, and so the defending Olympic champions, the defending world champions, I would say they're on course to do it all again in just a few weeks' time. Quick leg check. All smiles. Fun camaraderie between them all. Just on these teams, 3 riders built to go fast.
built to go
The medals
fast
and gifts
in a
will be
short
presented
period
by
of time.
the president of Mattamy Homes Canada GTU Division, Neil Haggard. Les médailles et cadeaux seront présentés par le président de Mattamy Homes Canada Division GTU, Neil Haggard. In third place, representing Canada, en troisième place, représentant le Canada, Ryan Dodick, Tyler Rourke,
There's the
and
Canadians.
James Hedgecock.
Ryan Dodick, James Hedgecock, and Tyler Rourke. Perhaps some of the, well, easily the closest race of the weekend, that one against France. If that doesn't go their way, the picture doesn't go their way, then they're not even in racing for a medal. But they then turned it on late against Italy to sneak onto the podium. Well-deserved sneaking onto the podium, I might add. Proudly showing off.
Representing Great Britain,
coffee.
en deuxième place, représentant la Grande-Bretagne, Hamish Turnbull,
Second.
Ed Lowe, and Jack
The
Carlin.
Brits, Jack Carlin, Ed Lowe, Hamish Turnbull. You can count on them to be back once again. Great Britain's lone silver medal of the day to go along with 2 gold, that being from the men's and women's team pursuit, and a bronze medal as well. Finally, another
In
day,
first place, representing
another
the Netherlands,
international
en
medal,
première place,
international gold medal
représentant les Pays-Bas,
for the team from
Roy
the Netherlands.
Vandenberg, Harry
And
Levriesen, and Jeffrey Hoogland.
I can't predict anything, but it would take some doing to beat this trio. Jeffrey Hoogland, Harry Levriesen, and the leadoff man, Roy Vandenberg. A trio that expects success and deliver the vast majority of the time. Once again, atop the podium, the Netherlands. Adorned in Olympic gold, adorned in World Championship rainbows, and then looking to defend that Olympic gold medal in just a few months' time. Netherlands, Great Britain, and Canada, the podium.
That concludes our racing here on day one of the 2024 Tissot UCI Track Nations Cup Milton. Thank you all so much to all of our incredible spectators for coming out and sharing today with us. We will be back here tomorrow morning, right at 10.
Winning never gets old, does it? If anyone can attest to that, it's that trio. Some of the Canadian fans who've stuck it out to the very end here in Milton. Still lots more to come this weekend. And as I mentioned, lots more to come this weekend. This is what's on tap for tomorrow. That is 6 p.m. Eastern time. Adjust your watches, check your watches accordingly wherever you may be in the world. We have the men's Omnium, the women's Sprint, the men's Kieran, and the women's Madison. As always, the nice mix of endurance and sprints. All finishing off with the men's points race in the Omnium. And so as we take a look at one of our victorious riders from the Netherlands, we will bid you a fond adieu. My name is Gavin Day. I will talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.